Hey, beautiful Christian wife. Hey, beautiful mom. Did you get up this morning or have you ever gotten up in the morning and felt like nobody should talk to you in the house? Are you feeling burnt out? Do you feel like you could use some rest, but at the same time, you are so afraid to rest because you feel guilty? Do you feel like you are just unable to manage your time? Is this Christian marriage and homemaking thing simply an endless cycle of duties and responsibilities or what? Let's talk. Welcome to Special Pillars. If I am being honest, I have felt like this a number of times. Resting felt like a crime, not because anyone told me I shouldn't rest, but because I had somehow developed an unhealthy relationship with rest. I was not using my time respectfully, I was distracted, and my mind was very noisy. I liked controlling outcomes, and so when things don't work out as I planned, I get so riled up and sad. But God is merciful because when I asked for His help, He took me through the very uncomfortable journey of showing me just how I arrived at this state of unrest. So take me I will start by saying that God intends for us to serve Him in any capacity with gladness, not with fear. I consider the love and the service we show to our family to be service unto God. If it is being done out of compulsion or fear or pressure, then it is not accepted because God does not want us to do things out of compulsion. He wants for us to serve Him with gladness. I will share one major thing that God has helped me to understand. It seems very simple, but when I finish going round and round, I always come back to that one thing. But in addition, I'm also going to be sharing some tips with you of how to break out of a cycle of unrest and grumpiness, and such that you are not burnt out and the service you're rendering is going to be one that is acceptable before Him. Number one, your source is God. John chapter 15, verse 4 says, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." You know, when I look at times in my life where I was confused and overburdened, I can say that there were times when I was not abiding. I was doing the routines, but everything was just hard. Everything just felt stressful. Listen, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And so, if your time with the Lord is always in jeopardy, if God is usually the last resort whenever things happen in your life, then there is no way you are going to be able to bear fruit that is going to last. God told me that He is my source. I do not need to rely on any other thing for strength, for wisdom, for strategy. It has to be Him. You all, ladies, God is very jealous over His people and He wants your attention. So if He is your source, then you are going to find that you can achieve so much from very little when God is your source. How can we abide? We already know it. Study the Word of God daily. Pray. Be in fellowship with other believers. And honestly, I encourage you to not think or feel like, oh, it has to be a certain way. No. Find a time that works best for you daily to spend with the Lord in prayer, in worship, and in the study of the Bible. And make it a date. Apart from that, always have the consciousness that God is with you all throughout your day. For me, that is prayer. The definition of prayer is so wide. Basically, it means connecting with God, communicating with Him, and that is something we have to do all the time. And so it doesn't mean that you're going to be in the room praying all through the day and not living your life. No. But while living your life, while doing your things, the things you're supposed to do during the day, you are connected to Him. Personally, for me, I like to spend a good part of my morning, right, with God. Just at the beginning of the day, I worship with songs, I pray, and I study my Bible. I also take time to be still and listen. The Bible says in James chapter 1 verse 5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. So when you feel overwhelmed, take it to God. If you lack strategy, ask him. If you need wisdom to plan your finances, talk to him about it. Pray about everything. That is how to abide. You must make waiting on the Lord a major part of your day, because that is how our strength is renewed. For me, this is the most important for any Christian actually. But because I am speaking from the point of view of Christian moms, and wives, okay, you are first a Christian, you are first God's child. If you have placed your life in Jesus, there is every other thing follows from there. Okay, so yeah, God is your source. Now, let me move on to a few other points. Okay, the second point is that not every task is to be done by you. Yes, you don't have to do everything. I remember a period in my life when I was always feeling like I had to do every single thing. I was angry if something in the kitchen was not in its place. My husband was doing very well with chores at home, but I still felt like things are not being done properly. And I would get angry when he does not offer to help with a weird chore that nobody sent me to do that I came up with. One day God asked me, is anybody forcing you to do these things? Why are you angry about the yoke you put on yourself? Dear beautiful sisters, the world of Christian influencers on social media is saying, do this, do that. Here's how to make sure that your home is always on 10 out of 10, right? Your home should look like this. Here are some things I do to keep my home running. So many information. But the truth is that the only system you need for your home to thrive is the system that works for your home. You are going to have to find that yourself. Now, there are some generals, okay? There are some things that are general points, and I'm going to talk about them. But in the end, if you don't sit and create a system that works for your family, you will burn out trying to use another woman's system for her own home. My life right now is that I have learned to not do any chore that I am not going to do with my whole heart. How do I know that I'm not going to do that chore with my whole heart? If I am already feeling grumpy about that chore, I will just pause, recollect myself before deciding on how to proceed. Honestly, many of the things we do, nobody is asking us to do those things. There is something I feel like is natural in us that usually pushes us women to want to keep everything in order at the home. But we must know where to draw the line so that we are not really being, obsessively compulsive. The third thing I want to say is that God has given you helpers in the form of family. Please do work with them. I'm a PhD student, My husband is an engineer, and we do not have a nanny or any form of helper. So we only have ourselves and our 4 kids. Right now, my two oldest, aged 10 and 9 respectively, already know that after every meal, they are responsible for cleaning the dining area. The kids sort their own laundry before and after washing. They are also responsible for cleaning up their toys after playing. My husband and I are a team, and we have come to a point where we just have this rhythm such that everyone knows what they need to do and just does it. I have learned to ask for help when I need it instead of grumbling, and you should too. If you're able to hire a help, that is also good. Find a strategy that works, and don't forget to always run to God when you feel like you're crushing under the weight of responsibilities and your spouse is not being supportive. Please talk to God about it, and then hold a conversation with your spouse, with your husband. I already know that many husbands, I know from experience that many husbands would prefer for their wives to simply share their problems instead of acting out or crying. Nevertheless, you must also ensure that you are not simply trying to impose unnecessarily high standards on him. I give you an example. I have a certain way of cleaning my toilets and bathrooms, and nobody in this house has been able to clean them the way that I do. I love the result every time, so I have made peace with the fact that I am going to be the one cleaning the bathrooms in our home. My husband has tried to clean, okay, these bathrooms sometimes, but I find myself always going back to try to fix one thing or the other after he's done cleaning. There is simply no need for me to complain that he's not helping me, that I'm the only one cleaning the toilets. I will do it the way I want it to be done, and I'm going to be cheerful about it because those are the standards I set for myself, not for another person. And so I do not need to make another person's life miserable because of how I like things to be done. Hey, this home is also his home too. It's not just mine. Okay? So do not give yourself any yoke that God has not given you and then turn around and blame your loved ones because of that. The fourth thing I want to talk about is system. Yes, I've already mentioned it, but listen, without systems, no project is going to be sustainable. Build a system for your home that will enable you to breathe without crushing under the weight of chores. And please be realistic with those systems. Create a schedule for shopping, for cleaning. Better still, do it room by room so that you don't burn out. Set out your grocery shopping days. Are you a bulk shopper or are you an as needed shopper? Plan your system around your identity, your behaviors, your characteristics. Do you prefer to have meals freshly made or you'd rather not cook more than twice a week? Who you are will determine the kind of system you create. Write it down, print it out, and paste it somewhere you can always see it. I have a folder on my computer titled Home. I also have a physical notebook where I plan meal preps and other stuff. A system will definitely keep you going even when motivation is no longer available. Finally, please, dear beautiful sister, rest when you need to. While resting, try to read a book or just sleep. Something that does not involve the screen. Because trust me when I say that screen time is not really rest time. I'm speaking from experience, okay? I recently started joining my husband on his nightly walks. He goes on a walk every night after dinner, and I started joining him. My body and my mood already feel amazing. Rest when it is time. God rested after he created everything. Jesus at some point told his disciples to come aside and rest. Rest is vital. So please rest. And don't forget, when you start feeling dry and out of alignment, return to your source. And that is God. Well, I hope this video has been a little helpful to you. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.
There is a balm in Gilead. It comes like wisdom, speaks like children. It's a sight to the blind and a strength to my weakness. It's something for soul, body, mind. There is a balm in Gilead. It's a rest for the weary, a song to the sore. It's like dew to my dryness that fills me with joy when I had none.